Pro wrestling.
Oh my Lanta.
Yeah, not everybody is into it, but for those of us who are, especially us old school wrestling fans, we'd love to see modern day wrestlers who would have fit in during the territory days. So, here's 5 pro wrestlers in 2023 that would have been over in the 1980s. Number 1, Roman Reigns. It's been a long road to success for Roman Reigns. While things started out great, there were a couple of years that babyface Roman wasn't working too well. I think everybody will agree his heel turn in August of 2020 and the birth of the Bloodline stable with his real-life cousins and special counsel Paul Heyman turned his career around. Fans are all in with the heel Roman, who holds both the WWE Championship and the WWE Universal Championship as of the making of this video. Reigns has established himself as the star they tried to make him for years. A heel Roman would have fit in nicely in the 1980s as part of Gary Hart's stable. Reigns could have been great in Mid-South, battling fan favorites like Junkyard Dog or Jim Duggan, or moving over to Georgia, where he could have been a big part of the wrestling magazines alongside names like Dusty Rhodes. Reigns would have especially fit in world-class wrestling, where he would have looked great wearing the world-class championship belt. We can just imagine a heel Roman main eventing against the Von Erichs and being booed by that Sportatorium crowd. Number 2, FTR. A little 2-for-1 offering here. FTR has been recognized as a throwback tag team for the most old school of old school wrestling connoisseurs. Dax Harwood on the left and Cash Wheeler on the right were already longtime friends when the legendary Dusty Rhodes paired them together in the WWE's developmental system. They went on to win the NXT, Raw, and SmackDown Tag Team Championships before jumping to AEW and winning their World Tag Team Championship. They've also won titles in Ring of Honor, AAA, and New Japan Pro Wrestling, making them triple champions. If they had come along 35 years earlier, they could have possibly filled the shoes of Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. FTR's style is based on teams like the Brainbusters, and at a time before the WWF got over the top cartoony, that style could get over with WWF fans. Prior to the WWF, the Four Horsemen could have looked a little different with Harwood and Wheeler in the mix and winning championships. In another dimension, today a retired Harwood and Wheeler could be mentoring young up-and-comers named Blanchard and Anderson in AEW. Number 3, Thrillbilly Silas Mason. Silas Mason has been making waves in the National Wrestling Alliance the last couple of years, having a short run as one half of the IWA Tag Team Champions with Devin Dixon, and currently being in line for EC3's National Heavyweight Championship. Mason regularly appears on NWA Power and recently, as this is being made, defeated Brady Pierce in just over 2 minutes of the taping in Tampa, Florida. The 6'6" Mason was also cast as Terry Gordy in the upcoming Von Erich biopic, The Iron Claw, making this an easy one as he would fit in perfectly as a Freebird. If Mason had started his career in the 1970s, he very well could have been the brawling partner to complement the mind of Michael Hayes. As the Freebirds became a 3-man team, adding Buddy Roberts, Mason's power would mix well with Roberts' technical skills. Of course, like Gordy, Mason could have success away from the Freebirds, winning championships with partners like Steve Williams, as well as on his own. Mason would have likely been a favorite of Bill Watts in Mid-South and would have looked great with the UWF Championship belt. Number 4, Becky Lynch. It can be argued that Becky Lynch is the most popular and successful women's pro wrestler of all time, not only playing a large part in making women's wrestling cool, but drawing in casual fans and even branching out to movies and TV like no women's wrestler before her. Lynch has been wrestling since 2004, and after making her debut in WWE's NXT brand in 2013, has gone on to be a 4-time SmackDown Women's Champion, a 2-time Raw Women's Champion, and shared a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship with Lita. Quite a resume for the Irish-born star. We can only imagine what would have happened if Lynch had been around for the rock and wrestling connection. Lynch has the in-ring skills to impress the 1980s wrestling fan, and the charisma to add an extra layer to the promotion for the first WrestleMania. Of course, the 80s being the 80s, Lynch could have still fit in with the PG-rated sex appeal that went along with being at the top of the women's division, without losing any credibility in the ring. Not that she would have needed to, but as it turns out, she would have also made a heck of a Cyndi Lauper. And number 5, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. MJF is an easy pick for this list. His in-ring skills are top-notch, and he arguably gives the best promo in the business today. His dedication to remaining in character even when he isn't in the ring has possibly lost him a few fans, but it just impresses the old-school wrestling fans that much more. At only 27 years old, the New York native could be sitting atop the wrestling world for another 20 years. The current AEW champion was also cast in the Iron Claw as Lance Von Erich, but old-school fans will tell you there is another role he is more suited for. MJF would have been a great Gino Hernandez-type heel, looking down his nose at anyone and everyone thinking they deserve to be in the same ring with him. Knowing that to truly take over wrestling in the 1980s, you need a suitable tag team partner, Friedman would match up nicely with the heel Chris Adams. Others might even clamor to associate with the money-drawing star, leading to more championships and a higher profile. Friedman might want to skip that bleach blonde phase, though. That didn't work out too well for Gino. Well, I hope you enjoyed that edition of 5 Things. I don't usually do these based on my opinion, but I thought it would be a fun one. If you'd like to see more videos like this, check out the 5 Things playlist, or check out one of the other videos on the channel. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, not necessarily in that order, and I will see you next time.